interpret ridership per vehicle to be the same, and so that's 5 rides per vehicle a day, 1,000 vehicles, 5,000 rides. So that doesn't account for the jump in ridership.
It's a good and reasonable question. The reason is the companies control the number of vehicles deployed. They have a cap, not a minimum. So the number of vehicles deployed will shift based on usage as long as it never crosses that 1,000 vehicles. So if they get more vehicles out at times of high ridership, they'll see more total trips.
Gotcha, thank you.
So I guess that's kind of in line with what I'm trying to find out too, what Councilwoman Corr was asking. So you're anticipating, so we were at 187, we went up to 353, and then we're going back down to 266.
The reason that 2026 number is low is that we've seen significantly more fee revenue in the last several months that wasn't accounted for in our initial FY26 budget, and so it may outperform that 286.
So you're being conservative.
So it's being very conservative.
Okay. Have we thought about memberships? We were talking about fees and if they're commensurate with other cities. Have we thought about memberships as being part of that structure?
So the companies, some of them do offer membership structure. The membership structures that we're aware of are really more in our equity programs for lower income users and opportunities for them to enroll in free or reduced trips. And so that's really been the city's focus on driving usage for lower income individuals.
Okay. I had some questions about the safety record for the dockless scooters. How are they comparing with the Little Runner or the local?
I'll need to follow up to find out how it would compare to the Little Runner. Accident data, we do receive accident data every month from police and fire. Generally, it's a few transports and accidents a month. Give you a couple months. In August, there was 1 transport accident and 2 accidents that didn't require transport. In September, there were 3 that required transport and 2 that didn't. The accident counts are relatively low, and we can follow up with the total accidents.
Okay, and then do you know how many citations have been issued for riders?
I don't believe there have been any citations issued.
No? Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns, songs? Councilwoman Dr. Corr.
Thanks, Chair. I was just going to make a recommendation. Maybe I'm overstepping, but it would be great since, the Little Runner was brought up, maybe, and we also have pedicabs and a couple of other transportation methods for downtown. If we could just get a overview maybe and a comparison of all of the different transportation methods, how many permits are allowed, what's the revenue, things like that. Maybe we could get a briefing that cross-examines those.
We can do that. Of course. Any other questions, comments? Okay, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to support the item as it goes to council.
Make a motion to move it to council. Second.
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. We'll move on to the next item, which is item 4, the big ticket item for the day, consideration of applicants to the Airport Advisory Board. Can we please get a staff presentation?
Good afternoon, Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I'm Debbie Ruckesitter, City Clerk, and I'm going to be presenting kind of a background on the Airport Advisory Commission and our process. So the commission advises the aviation director on matters affecting the city's airports and air transportation initiatives and consists of 19 members representing the aviation industry, the travel and tourism industry, the ground transportation industry, the airport business community, the larger business community, and the greater community at large. Each member is appointed to a 2-year term with appointments staggering from year to year. So the Office of the City Clerk opened applications on December 18th of 2024, which is 90 days before the expiration of the term. There was a web posting and social media postings by Communications and Engagement Department on January 27th. And by September 15th of 2025, we received 78 applications. The city attorney's office vetted those 78 applications, and of the 78, 67 were eligible. The ad hoc committee was created by former chair of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and that included District 4 council member and District 9 council member. So thank you both for serving on the ad hoc committee to help shortlist. They reviewed all of those 67 applications and came up with a shortlist that you see here today. And the plan will be to interview those today and make a recommendation, hopefully, to the full city council. City council would vote on the full board appointment at an A session, and then after that, the city clerk would notify the folks that they have been appointed, ask them to complete proper forms, swear them in, as well as invite them to complete the Municipal Leadership Institute training, and then they can be seated on the board. So this is a list of those that have made it to the short list for the different categories. I want to make a note that in the community seat, pretty much any of these folks could serve. And then we have another individual, Marco Barros, in the business community seat, who could also serve in the travel and tourism seat as well. So the process today will be for the applicant to give a 2-minute opening statement. If the applicant cannot attend, there's a written statement that is provided in your packet. If the chair would like the city clerk's office to read that statement, we can do that, but you can see those written statements. The council committee will interview all shortlisted applicants, break into executive session to deliberate, but no formal action may be taken in executive session. Then the committee reconvenes, a member would make a motion, and that would go to full city council for appointment. I forgot to mention that during the interviews, all candidates will be sequestered and will not be able to listen to each other's answers to the questions. So if you have any question about the process, I'm here. Otherwise, Chair, you know, you've done this before, so it's back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much, all the applicants, for your interest in serving in the Airport Advisory Commission. As was mentioned, we're going to begin interviews. Each applicant will have a 2-minute opening statement, and the committee will ask up to 3 questions. I'm asking all except for the first applicant to leave the room so that we can begin the interviews. But before we do that, I'll ask Mr. Paterick, if you wouldn't mind just setting the tone. What are the kinds of decisions, actions, feedback that the Airport Advisory Commission will be offering in their service?
Right, so this commission provides a direct feedback to airport staff as they work through all aspects of their business, right? So how they provide air service to our community, how they provide concessions within the airport, how they provide connections within the airport. So they serve as a link to the business community, the hospitality community, the community in general, between both the airport staff and the public.
Thank you, thank you. The first person is going to be Mark Provost.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Provost, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for letting me come and talk to you guys today. So real quick, I have an undergrad in engineering, an MBA in finance. I've spent my professional career as an aerospace engineer working for both commercial and U.S. defense aerospace companies. Been a resident of Bexar County, only because my dad was in the Air Force at Randolph Air Force Base, so I grew up in that area, went to school in that area. But since the age of 2, I've been a resident of this area. That leads pretty much to why I have the interest in the airport. Just not only did I spend a good 30 years working at various companies at the airport, the old D. Howard Company, Sino-Swearingen, then M7, which turned into Elbit. So just a general interest. Again, like I say, I've done all of my career in aerospace. Although worked for U.S. defense companies, they were always dual purpose. We always had commercial aviation in line at the same time. So it sounds good to say I worked for an aerospace defense company, but while it's true, we did a lot of commercial work also. Mostly modification of existing airframes. As you know, M7 morphed from Fairchild, which turned to Fairchild Dornier, and then M7 and then M7 Elbit. Fairchild was the original type certificate holder for the Metro Merlin aircraft, so actually built 1,023 of those aircraft here at the facility at the San Antonio International Airport. So we did a lot of that work also. But that's pretty much, I'm about the luckiest guy in the aviation industry, but that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell.
Well, thank you for that. Council members will be asking questions. You'll have try to keep it to about a minute.
Sure.
Councilmember Spears?
Thank you. Okay, so airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and as the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Well, of course, that's the big issue, right? Having the residents who are served by the airport and then the commercial interest, those have to balance. I think, the airport people on the airport staff, I've been impressed, doing an awesome job of, looking at everything from noise abatement to times at which the curfews are. So I think the big thing is you have to start out with what the populace is looking for, both in service for air service, and then of course you have to balance that with the financial aspects of it. And so it's really, if I were king, it'd be serving the populace first, making sure we have good routes and good service, and then make sure that we have the smart people make sure that we can fund it.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
So I will admit, as far as an operational knowledge of how airports work, I was on the certification side. All my work was with the FAA on making sure airframes and mods were safe. So I have a fair knowledge of what it takes to be a leaseholder and work around the airport. But as far as the FAA regulations as to how airport operations must run, not that big. Again, I do have an MBA in finance, so I do have a keen interest in how we fund this stuff and what makes sense and what doesn't, as to when we have different vendors come in. But like I say, I have a lot of experience. One of the things I did under Elbit was consult on transformational technologies and how to plan for those. And that's a big button for me is as we look at the VCR Betamax thing of today, is whether we're going to go to electrical, battery-powered airplanes or hydrogen-powered airplanes. I won't give you my debate on why hydrogen's going to win, but we do need to, as a community, we need to start looking at that now, because those transformational technologies will take place quite quickly. I mean, you've already got both hydrogen-powered and electric battery-powered airplanes of all sizes, both, the personal air taxis and then now even larger aircraft. And so, electricity is a little easier, but hydrogen is not. But hydrogen's got more, kilocalories per mole as a weight ratio for batteries. So, got to look now as if we're going to make this switch to either way we go, whether it be from petrochemicals to either battery powered or petrochemicals to hydrogen power. That's coming on us, and it's those things that interest me in just looking at where the airport's going. But to answer your question, I am by no means an expert on airport operations. That wasn't where I grew up.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Core?
What do you see as the most important role the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
Well, in my mind, the most important role of the airport is to make sure the populace is served with reliable and economic transportation. I mean, you look at some communities that have done a poor job of that, many reasons. Some just been infrastructure bound. I think San Antonio does a great job of it, but I think it's the airport's responsibility to make sure that you have economical, well-scheduled air service to places that the populace wants to travel.
Thank you. That concludes the interview. We're going to get through the rest and then, absolutely. Next, we have Ignacio Reyes. Thank you for being here, Mr. Reyes. We'll have 2 minutes for introduction and then followed by three questions. You'll have about a minute for each of those questions. You're free to go.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and the invitation to participate. My name is Ignacio Nacho Reyes. I am taking a little break from work, taking care of my grandkids while my son is deployed overseas for a year. So it's a little interesting. But I just came to San Antonio from Austin Bergstrom International. I worked there for 22 years. I saw that airport grow from the very beginning, the lines just growing, the airlines. And I see the same coming in San Antonio. I see the airport leadership doing a good job here, and I believe I can help, and that's why I'm here. My background was an air traffic controller in the Air Force, airspace, doing the terminal procedures, clear zones, things like that that are in an airport that many people don't know about, pilots do. And also, after I retired, after 9/11, I wanted to do something else, so I joined the Department of Homeland Security, Transportation Security Administration with the Department of Transportation, and then became its own agency. So my job was a stakeholder relations manager and regional emergency coordinator. So I worked with FEMA, the state of Texas, governor's office, in emergencies, a firefighter, basically, and public relations. What's going on at the airport? What's going on with the city? What do we need to communicate to the public so that everybody's at ease and nobody panics? It's a tough job, but I loved it. I think I'll end there so I don't go over my 2 minutes.
No worries.
No
Thank
penalties.
You. Thank you. Councilmember Spears.
Okay, so airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Depends on the issue at hand. I know, for example, when we had lines going out the door, sometimes it depended on the equipment. If it was equipment that TSA had, for example, then we needed to own up to it, and I made sure that I got our public affairs, and we would go ahead and provide that to the traveling public. If it was something where the air carriers canceled flights or they had issues with their systems, then nobody wants to come out and say, hey, it was my fault. For the traveler, it doesn't matter. It's not working right, and they want it to be more efficient. So my job, again, was to kind of work with the airport director, the stakeholders, primarily the air carrier bosses, and also the law enforcement for security, especially when we had crowds. And the other thing, as far as my transportation security job, was security of those crowds. It's a target. I mean, and so my job in TSA was avoiding terroristic attacks and things like that. So behind the scenes, those were other things that drew what was more important, which was a priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mungia.
Thank you for your service, Mr. Reyes. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Well, some of the things that we've gone through in Austin, I see sometimes at other airports. We didn't have only Austin. We had eight airports, all the way up to Amarillo, Midland, San Angelo, Lubbock, College Station. So we had them all. Each one had something different. For example, in Midland, we couldn't find TSA officers because the oil rigs were paying them more. So why go do security for a federal job when an oil rig will pay me more? But then when the oil or things changed, now they were lacking a job and would come to us. So each airport is not the same. You have to look at the community, you have to look at the demands, you have to look at what are the drivers of that city. For example, in Austin, South by Southwest, Austin City Limits is going on right now. Formula One is coming real soon. Here we have Fiesta, and other events. I would like to be part of helping San Antonio be even better.
Thank you, Councilmember Dr. Corr.
What do you see as the most important role the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear very well. Could I ask you to repeat?
Sorry, let me use the mic. What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
Well, first things first, we have to be in tune with the airport directors, the staff, to see where are they going, where have they been. You just can't jump in and say, hey, I got it, this is what we're going to do. You have to communicate, you have to fall in sync. Some of the things I see is nonstop flights. For example, we got about 48 here in San Antonio versus like 100 up in Austin. People travel up to Austin so they can go on nonstop flights. We have the DCA flight now. That's awesome. We have so much clientele here with our military leaders that they need to get to the Pentagon real quick. So it just made sense. So I'm great that happened. Those lessons learned, I don't think we need to repeat them. I think we can, if we have knowledge of those, we can bring them to the table and all of us work on how we can improve the air service out of San Antonio to other nonstop locations, which is a big driver for people flying instead of driving. And then the domestic flights. Parking, ground transportation, this is a transportation piece also. I parked over at Market Square right now coming over here, but I found my way. I passed the first test, and I know that sometimes at the airport we get full. So how much parking do we have? And those are other pieces that also drive the airport, because the landside capacity drives the airside capacity of an airport.
Thank you. That concludes the interview. We're going to get through the rest of them, have a discussion, and then we'll make a recommendation by
Thank
ideally
you.
4 o'clock.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. The next person is Doyle Turner. Hello, Mr. Turner. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to start off with a quick 2-minute opening statement, and then you'll have 3 questions. Each one, you'll have about a minute to respond, if you can keep it to about
Sure.
that.
Thanks, Chair, committee members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today about why I'd like to serve on the Airport Advisory Committee, or the Commission. I grew up in San Antonio, was appointed to the United States Air Force Academy in 1987. I graduated and was commissioned in 1991 as an officer in the United States Air Force. Earned my pilot wings down in Del Rio in 1992, and then retired honorably in 2014 from the U.S. Air Force. Along the way, I earned my master's degree. At the time of my retirement, I was in charge of line officer assignments for the United States Air Force, which is all officers other than the JAG and the lawyers and so forth, but took care of all kinds of people, whether it was personnel, intelligence, our maintainers, our pilots, the entire group. I was responsible for moving them. In that process, I have been flying, after I retired, I've been flying out of San Antonio for the last 14 years. And I've flown out of all 4 airports in both my military capacity and as a civilian. I'm currently the director of aviation and the chief pilot for Zachary Industrial. Technically, we're a tenant on the airport. We're on the far northwest corner, along with some other friends that are there. And so we're considered a tenant, so y'all need to know that. I have flown out of every airport, as I spoke about. I'm a ATP-rated pilot, which is Airline Transport Pilot Rating. I'm also a certified flight instructor and I have multiple type ratings in different jet aircraft. I believe I can serve the city and the commission as a valuable team member, working with professionalism and integrity, helping it, striving for innovation in our modern aviation system. I believe I can be a help in the continuous improvement of that. Airport expansion is essential to meet the needs of the future, but to do so while not accommodating, we have to accommodate both the major airlines and general aviation in that process, both tenants and users. I also think it takes a lot of time, effort, and ingenuity for us to do that. I've been in aviation 34 years. It takes a team working together, and I hope to be a part of that team.
Hey, perfect timing. Councilmember Spears?
Okay, so number 1, airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
It's a great question. Thank you for the question. I think the hardest part is the balance, but I think having the understanding inside and hearing from each aspect of the community and what their stakeholders are, what's important, making sure you're meeting those needs is essential in that process. And a fair and balanced approach to doing that. One does not get to say over the other. You have to be in a mutual agreement as you go forward in taking care of each of those stakeholders.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Thank you for your service. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
I think our biggest challenge, we're starting a new terminal. I think what I add to it, part of my time in the Air Force, I was a fighter pilot. You have to understand airspace extremely well. I'm not an air traffic controller. Ignatius and I hit it off quite well. But understanding how those parts integrate, because no one goes and buys an airline ticket or charters an airplane or schedules their flight with their company and expects to be delayed. Right now, the greatest challenge I see is our airspace for the future of we can have a huge terminal, but if all our flights are delayed or unable to get them here and out in a timely fashion, I think that's it. That takes a lot of time and effort, coordination, whether it's Austin, Randolph, Lackland, our local airspace. There's a lot to be done there, and I think and adds significantly to that, understanding the three-dimensional aspect, as well as some of the weather and military versus civilian challenges that are faced.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur?
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
Thank you for that question. Years ago, there was a great advertisement that was made about you can spend $1 million and pave, say, a mile of pavement on the highway. You can just go 1 mile. You spend $1 million and pave the runway and provide all the things that go with it. You can go anywhere in the world. Our airport is access both to our local businesses being able to get out and our local constituents to be able to get out and go see the world. It's also a way for people to come here and get in and do that. Yeah, they can take I-10 or I-35, but our ability to get people in and out is our greatest asset that an airport brings, and we've got to recognize that and be able to make it comfortable, competitive, and an enjoyable experience for people to use our airport system.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your service. Also, forgot to say that earlier. We're gonna finish up the rest of the interviews, have a quick discussion, and then hopefully make a recommendation by 4 o'clock.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time.
Up next, we have Marcia Hendler. Oh, okay, I didn't have her as here. She's here? Okay, well, perfect. We'll go ahead with Ms. Tasha Carr. Mhm. Hi, Ms. Carr. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. We're going to start off with a 2-minute opening statement, and then we'll have 3 questions from council members, and you'll have about a minute for each of those.
Okay.
So the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope y'all like my outfit because I wore it for y'all. I bought this and wore this for y'all. New fall line outfit. So my name is Tasha Carr. I am retired military. I'm 44 years old. I am heavily involved in transportation. My background is transportation, and I'm also a logistician. I actively have a commercial driver's license, and I do drive commercial vehicles. So I do drive semi-trucks. I currently haul water for HEB. So all the water you drink in San Antonio, you're welcome. I haul that water to the stores and also to the distribution centers. I also own a party rental company called Inflatable Movies and More. And I also just finished my contract with the city of San Antonio. I am heavy in bridging the gap between businesses and the community. I am the bridge who goes out and where the city says, well, we have a problem reaching the youth, we have a problem reaching the lower income housing, we have a problem reaching those individuals. I go out and I bridge that gap between the city and the community. I'm very successful at doing it. My numbers are really high. They just did a data study on me, and it came back really high. So I believe I received a call today, and they want me to come back again to help them with those numbers again. So I love transportation. It's what I do. I eat, sleep, and breathe transportation. I have done rail operations. I've done air operations. I've done sea operations, which really sucks because I don't like riding on the ship with the vehicles. Oh God, it's dangerous. And I guess that's my time.
Thank you, and I'm with you on being in the middle of the ocean. Councilmember Spears?
Okay, so airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Balancing those competing interests. Well, you have to, it's hard to satisfy everyone, but we want to try to bridge the gap between everyone, make sure that the people who are coming in, they get the San Antonio Southern Comfort experience. Make sure the people that's going out, they also get a good experience as well. And make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that the community is safe while traveling.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your time and your service.
Thank you.
What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Well, what I bring, like I told you, I'm the person who bridges your gap between the community and the airport. So any issues that you have in that area, I will be able to help you reach the community, as well as talk to you about, hey, this is what's happening. This is why they're feeling that way. This is what we need to do to fix it. So because maybe you don't understand where they're coming from. So I can help you with that.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur?
Thank you. What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
Well, as a transporter, to me, the biggest role for the airport always, for me, is going to be safety. It's always safety. I'm a big safety person, so letting the community know that yes, the airport is here, but yes, we're always thinking about your safety. 100%. Your safety, making sure that your kids are safe, making sure that your pets are safe. Everyone is safe. So safety is my thing.
Thank you. We're gonna wrap up the rest of the interviews and then have a quick discussion, and then by 4 o'clock, we'll have some recommendations made. Thank you so much.
so much. Thank you, everyone. I hope y'all have a good day.
You as well. Okay, up next we have Marcia Hendler, if I'm correct this time. Hi, Ms. Hendler, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Of
You
course.
ready?
We'll have about 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then you'll have 3 questions. Each one, try to keep your response to about a minute.
I'm Marcia Hindler. I am a resident of District 9 for about 40 years now. And what brought me to San Antonio originally was I was asked to be Vice President of Marketing for La Mancion Hotels, as I have a Bachelor of Science in Global Hospitality Leadership from the University of Houston. I took a severe left turn in my career path 14 years ago, and I founded Terrafina Energy. We are a licensed oil and gas company, and a year ago we formed a second company, Terrafina Fuels, and we're now fuel dealers. In 2021, I was named to the inaugural group of Forbes 50 over 50, and I believe I'm the only San Antonian that has been named to that group. I currently serve on the Airport Advisory Commission, and I am one of 3 officers, and I am one of the senior members. I would like to continue working on the commission because I'd like to see the construction of the new terminal through. This last round, I was asked to serve on the Architectural Committee and was working with everyone to present proposals to council for approval on our architectural firm, and then was asked to come back and served on the concession and retail vendor assignments, and that's now been approved. And I'm proud to say, it looks like I think there are 3 Michelin restaurants that are going to be in our airport terminal, and that is just spectacular. So I'm very pleased that all that has happened, and that's why I'm seeking reappointment, and that's kind of who I am.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Councilmember Spears?
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
How would I balance them? I think they're all equally important because the airport has to service all parts of our community. And I don't think there is one that should supersede the other. We have military that leave during the holidays and they need to be handled in a certain way. Coming out of hospitality, it is critical that our hospitality community have access to the airport and our visitors have access to and from the airport. How they get from the airport downtown is all important. I mean, it's all transportation and it all has to work together. And I think San Antonio has done an exceptional job of making all that work.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Yes, thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
I think my time of service on the airport has opened doors, and there's knowledge that I've gotten from just being a part of the commission for the time period that I have, and then serving on these last 2 panels to select both the architects and the food and beverage service. And doing the food and beverage service, it really became important to address types of food, ethnic foods, dietary restrictions. I mean, all of those were things that we addressed as we were going through that process as a group. And so that again emphasizes the different kinds of travelers that we have in the airport. As the new terminal is built and as you go through that process, you know, obviously you've got access and accessibility issues that need to be addressed, and that's all the architect's job. But it's also, I think, our responsibility as we look at things to see ideas and help things happen. And I don't know how many people really know this, but the rental car center, that whole concept of placing it where it currently is came out of the Airport Advisory Commission. that it was conversations that we kept having about visitors to the city that were missing flights because they're trying to figure out where to go to return their rental cars and issues like that. And it kept coming up in conversations. And we were talking about terminals where you stack cars in some of the European parking garages and different ways that we could do it. And it all ended up in a bigger and bigger and bigger conversation that actually led to the demolishing the current facility and building the new one with the rental car center. So all of that is part of what I've had the opportunity to work on for the number of years I've been involved.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur.
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how will you strengthen the commission to play that role?
I see it as financial growth. I don't see how the community can continue to grow financially without a strong airport facility. And I think that's one of the reasons we're adding the terminal that we're adding, is because there is so much demand and so much growth and so much more potential beyond that. You know, it's unfortunate we lost the Foreign Service, but I know that that is a focus, is to bring back, and the circumstances around that were unfortunate, but we're going to bring back more international flights, and that's a focus, is to help see that through too. So all of those become important factors in our future growth of the city.
Thank you so much for all of your answers and for your service on the commission. We're going to finish the last few interviews, have a quick discussion, and then ideally making a recommendation by 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have David Hensey. Hello, Mr. Hensey. Am I saying that correctly?
Hello, how are you? Yes, you are, thanks.
Wonderful. We'll have about, okay, thank you. We'll have about 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then you'll have 3 questions from council members, and try to keep your responses to about a minute.
Sure, yeah, thank you
Floor is
again. I
yours.
appreciate the opportunity to visit with you all. I noticed my name was listed in the business category. I actually currently serve as Senior Associate Dean at the School of Health Professions at UT Health San Antonio. Just as a reminder, UT Health has 6 different schools. So we have our school, School of Health Professions. We train PAs, PTs, OT, SLPs. We also have medicine, dentistry, nursing, graduate school, and a School of Public Health. My interest here today is to remind everybody that as we are bringing in candidates, both student and faculty, for our different programs, the large majority of them come through the airport. That is their first impression when we are bringing in the best and the brightest to fill different roles at UT Health San Antonio, and to provide them with that opportunity to highlight San Antonio right when they get off the plane, and then also to give them that lasting impression when they leave our city, is something that would be great to provide assistance with. I hear from students and faculty all the time when we are recruiting for our different programs that they receive that first impression right off that plane. And I get to hear the good and I get to hear the bad. And it would be great to hear the more good when we are recruiting the best and the brightest. As a reminder, I used to work also in the School of Medicine, and we bring in roughly about 1,000 individuals to apply for residency programs. We fill about 220 residency spots at UT Health San Antonio. Studies have shown that when individuals complete their residency in a particular town, the likelihood of them staying is in the 80 to 75%. So if we can make sure that when those residents, when that student and when those faculty get off the plane, they have that immediate amazing experience when they are applying for our different programs, the likelihood that we're able to have them stay in San Antonio would increase.
Thank you. Councilmember Spears?
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends on priorities, making sure that when you're balancing a wide variety of priorities, that you are, if possible, providing equal amounts of support to each one of those priorities. I know that's challenging, but if there are efforts made and if there's a conscious effort to make sure that you are paying attention to all of those different areas, then the likelihood that you'll have some success if focused on that agenda.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia.
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Yeah, it would really be a customer service perspective. And again, that's hearing from the constituents and the different students and faculty that we have coming through our city as we're trying to recruit from all over the country to make sure that they land in San Antonio, the customer service perspective, making sure, as I mentioned in the opening statement, that when they get off that plane, they have a positive experience all the way through the terminal, baggage claim, Uber rides, whatever it is that they need. So it's a customer service perspective.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Core.
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how will you help strengthen the commission's role?
Yeah, the most important role is really welcoming individuals to San Antonio who haven't had an opportunity to be here. So I think it's highlighting what we have to offer and providing the best service experience that that they could possibly have. In this role, it's really providing this committee the perspective from different community members. And I think I kind of serve in a unique area simply due to the educational piece. With the recent merger with UT San Antonio, I know UT San Antonio is also looking to bring in the best and the brightest. And if we can make sure that students and faculty candidates have that, we may be able to make sure that they stay here in San Antonio, not only caring for our students, but also patient populations.
Thank you. That concludes the interview. We're going to finish up the rest of the interviews, have a quick discussion, and sometime around 4-ish, we'll make a recommendation.
All right, thanks for y'all's time. Appreciate it.
Up next, we have Brian Morris. Hello, Mr. Morris. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to start off with the opening statement. You'll have 2 minutes, and then we'll get into about 3 council member questions where you'll have about a minute for each response.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. I'm thrilled to be here with you this afternoon. My name is Brian Morris, and I serve as the Director of Sales and Marketing at the JW Marriott San Antonio Hill Country Resort and Spa. I have dedicated my career to advancing the hospitality and tourism industry here in San Antonio, which continues to be one of the most vital economic drivers in our region. The JW Marriott is one of the largest resorts in Texas, hosting tens of thousands of visitors annually for both leisure and business travel. Our ability to connect with national and international markets depends directly on the strength, accessibility, and efficiency of our airport system. As San Antonio International Airport undergoes a transformative expansion, it is critical that the hospitality sector has a voice in the conversation. Our property is also in the planning stages of its own expansion, and aligning our growth with the airport's progress ensures that we maximize the benefits of increased connectivity, tourism, and convention activity. This synergy will create a stronger visitor economy, support jobs, and reinforce San Antonio's reputation as the premier destination. I am seeking a seat on the Airport Advisory Commission because I believe the perspective of the hospitality industry is indispensable to achieving the airport's long-term goals. My role allows me to bridge the needs of visitors, meeting planners, and the business community with the priorities of air transportation. Together, we can ensure the airport growth supports economic development across multiple sectors while enhancing the overall experience of every traveler who passes through San Antonio. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Councilmember Spears?
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Well, being in the hospitality industry, I think you balance different stakeholders, whether it be different disciplines within the hotel industry. But I believe the effort is in collaboration with one another, and I think viewing different viewpoints is really important in something like this.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Sure. Well, my long experience in sales and marketing and dealing daily with, in the hospitality segment, with meeting planners, business holders via leisure and the like, would be a really important perspective, because when you look at the airport, it's oftentimes, if you're visiting a destination one time, this is really the first impression and sometimes the last impression of a city. And I think being in that industry, I can provide a really important perspective in some cases.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur?
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how will you help strengthen that role?
Well, again, my experience in the hospitality industry, it is about experiences and what the stakeholders need. And when you look at, whether you're passing through or not, it still is an experience. And so I think with being in the hotel business for 36 years, we are still in the hospitality business even at the airport. So I think it's really, really important, and I can provide a valuable perspective in that area.
Thank you. I know that was fast, but that concludes the interview. We're going to get through the rest of them, and then we're going to have a discussion as a committee, and then we'll make a recommendation for something.
Well, thank you for the consideration. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. Up next, we have Christy Villanueva. Hello, Ms. Villanueva, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello. We're going to give you 2 minutes for opening statement, and then we'll have 3 questions from council. Each one will have about a minute for response, and then it'll feel very fast, but I promise
bet.
we're getting everything.
So I hear. All right. Well, it's an honor to be here in front of all of you, and I greatly appreciate the time. Taking a couple of notes just so I don't lose track. As I've built my career as a small business owner and also consulted with large businesses over a period of many years. I've been an advocate in our community, and I'm hoping to be of good use as I move forward in my life. So I felt that this was an exciting opportunity to come and be here in front of all of you. I did want to let you all know that I do serve as an appointee of District 2 on the Brooks Board. That basically allows me to play a strategic role in our growth and mobility on the south side. It also allows me to help our residents in being more mobile and accessing our city. So I feel that my work throughout the many years that I've been here in San Antonio has helped me to bring a balance both on the business side, on the advocacy side, and then working with a number of groups to help find that common ground.
Thank you. Councilmember Spears?
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
That's pretty difficult. I know that economic development is a huge driver here. The upgrades that are much needed in any sort of airport are also top priority, but we do have to be understanding and take into consideration our travelers, both our local travelers and visitors, in addition to those with any special needs. And that is something that I think that I can bring to the table, because our special needs community, while many would debate it could make up about 12% or so of our city, it's very critical that we consider light, sound, and other things around in our environment to help make it a smooth transition.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia.
Yes, thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
So I think what I bring in my background as a small business owner, project manager, I've also traveled overseas with construction. That has helped me bring parties to the table. I think also as my role on the Brooks Board, I've been on the VIA Board before and the Ethics Commission. That has also helped teach me many lessons, that the English language is understood very differently depending on who is sitting at the table. And it's important to see things for the facts, for what they truly are, and making sure that we do not leave until we have a clear understanding of the subject and we can come to some sort of decision that will help the vast majority as we move forward.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur.
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how will you help strengthen the commission's role in that?
Wow. I believe that our airport truly bridges the gap. It's an economic hub for us and brings in folks from all over the world. That is important as we learn from each other and grow our city into something stronger, more powerful, that offers a number of services. So I believe I can help in that innovation, in environmental responsibility, and just communication in general.
Thank you. I told you it was going to be fast. That concludes the interview. We're going to get through, we're about 2/3 down our list, and then we'll have a discussion and make a recommendation around for something. The time keeps changing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Up next, we have Marco Barros.
Well, hello again.
Hello, hello. Thank you for
Familiar
being here.
face?
Absolutely. We have 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then we'll have 3 questions from council members. You'll have about a minute for each of those.
Well, let me tell you first, I appreciate the serving on the airport board. My role has always been to support Jesus and his team. A couple of things about myself, why I'm so interested. I'm probably the only board member serving on the airport that has had experience in route planning. I had in the mid-'80s worked for American Airlines in sales. Also did some work for a Mexican carrier called Aerolitoral that was eventually purchased by Aeromexico. And I did a lot of community affairs for Frontier Airlines when they first came back to the market. So it's really key to support the team and really understands how the decisions are made about new routes. It's not the CEO or the vice president or the company, it's really the route planning that drives all that. Best practices, I am very fortunate that my kind of job in management, consultant, I get to travel quite a bit in the US. So on an average, I get to see about 15 different airports every year, the new designs and new ideas, and I'm able to bring all that. An example of that is PDX Airport, Portland, Oregon. They probably had the most beautiful renovation of the airport. I talked to the team. If you ever have a chance to go there, it looks like a park, very open environment. The other airport that I highly spoke about was in Tulum, Mexico. It's a very open space designed with glass and trees and natural elements. So it makes travel a lot more friendly and a lot more easy and takes the fears away from flying. I was very, very involved in bringing new ideas to the airport. Ideas like Global Entry that has been around more than 15 years now. We were one of the lucky airports. I was like number 12 on the airport, but working with members of the Congress, we were able to move it up on the list. So Global Entry and the parking technology of the green and the red, I've been involved in all that.
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Well, the airport is for everyone. To be honest with you, we're very fortunate. We have a beautiful airport here. We're about to expand on a new terminal that will take a lot more funding. So I think it's for everyone. It's not just for locals or visitors or conventioneers. It's everyone. And I will tell you, the airport could be called a regional airport because it attracts people from all the way from Corpus Christi and Laredo and South Texas. So to me, the airport is for everyone. It's not just one market.
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Well, I mentioned a experience of being involved in management and seeing a lot of airports and new technology and new things. And to me, it's best practices. Bring him to the team, bring him to Jesus, and let him decide all that. But there's been a lot of improvements at the airport in the last 2 years, especially in the parking area, new technology. I think there's a lot more to do there, but I think Jesus is the right leader at the right time. His experience coming from Houston as a number 2 guy, and really the challenges is going to be the funding. I can tell you the next 5 years, making sure that we get FAA funding to complete Terminal C in the proper way so that we don't take any shortcuts. And the other challenge is going to be airlines it's a tough business. I can tell you a lot of the small carriers like Spirit will probably be sold, go through another bankruptcy again. So just getting nonstop flights is a big issue, and we're very close. I think we're at 48 right now, nonstop service. We really have great service to and from Mexico right now. And we lost by a little inch Copa Airlines, which travels from Panama. That's their base headquarters. And if we lost it to Austin, and I think it was a huge mistake for Copa, and I mentioned that to the director of sales, that I think they should have kept Copa Airlines here because we have more traffic into Mexico and Latin America from San Antonio. I hope I answered that. I mean, I could tell you lots of things that we could improve, but I think we're on the right track.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Ford.
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how would you help the commission strengthen that role?
Communication. I got to tell you, I live right by the airport. I've been there in Bluffview for 19 years. So I get all the complaints about noise and all that, but I think that being so close and so involved in the airport, and it's communication. I think reaching out to people in chambers of commerce, HOAs, and public meetings, and informing people about all the great things. I get very personal when people say, hey, I got a $100 cheaper fare from Austin. Yeah, but you had to pay $200 on Uber back and forth, so you didn't really save a lot of money. So I think competition and communication is going to be key. And one of the things that is stability. We have great staff members at the airport who have been there for a number of years. So it's a consistency of relationship with the airlines. I got to tell you one more thing that I like to approach is something that all of you do every year, The concept of SATDC, I think we need to bring back something that we used to do about 15 years ago, where we will take some of the executives to go visit the airlines. I think that we have to be a little more aggressive about visiting the three major carriers, especially American, Southwest, and United are really the key. You know, Southwest carries close to almost 50% of the travel, and I think we need to keep building on relationship with the three major carriers. I'm very fortunate that I get to travel quite a bit, so I've experienced 15 different airlines, and United actually recognized me last month for being a 1K member, which is over 100,000 miles on one carrier, and I added all that up, and it's just the experience working and improving relationship with the airlines, so we're not surprised of any issues and new routes, and we're so close to 50 nonstops, and I think that's the key on all of this. One final thing I got to tell you, we probably have, and some of you may know, one of the best airport ambassador programs in the country. You know, we have about over 187 volunteers who work at and volunteer at the airport. They carry the information booth and all that, and that is probably one of the best things we have going on. Great customer service.
Thank you so much. I felt fast. That concludes the interview. We're going to get through the last few interviews and then have a brief discussion and make a recommendation around for something.
Well, I appreciate all your time and your dedication. Thank you very much to each one of you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Up next, we have William Brendo. Hello. Thank you, Mr. Brendo. Is that how you
Yes.
pronounce? Wonderful. Thank you for being here. We're going to have about 2 minutes for an opening statement. Tell us about yourself, and then we'll have 3 questions from council, and you'll have about a minute for each of those. It's going to feel fast, but
It's quite all right. Thank you. Appreciate you having me here today. Thank you, Council Chair and council members. My name is William Brendel, Bill Brendel, and I'm the President and CEO of the San Antonio Visitor Alliance. Prior to taking on the leadership of the Visitor Alliance, I was a local hotel general manager for 16 years and have been in the hotel and tourism industry for over 35 years. I have an interest in serving on the Airport Advisory Committee because I truly believe the airport plays a critical role in the success of San Antonio's travel and tourism industry. In my role as President and CEO of the Visitor Alliance, I see every day how important the first and last impression is when visitors come through our airport. It's often the first look at our city, and the experience that they have there can shape their entire perception of what San Antonio has to offer. Also, I can provide input both directions from my over 60 members of the Visitor Alliance to aspects of the airport, and I can also take information from the airport committee back to my members, which I think is a vital role of sharing information both directions. Joining the committee gives me the opportunity to voice, like I said, provide the voice of my members, collaborate with the others on the committee, and help to make sure the airport remains a strong asset for the community.
thank you so much. Councilmember Spears.
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Well, looking at where they line up and enhancing that and encouraging services that are, running in the same direction. When there are conflicts, I think looking for the greater good, sometimes you can't win everything, and sometimes someone else, it needs to advance for the betterment of all. So I would like to operate like that.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia?
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Well, my experience is, like I said before, quite a few years in the industry and in quite a few different markets. I've operated in St. Louis, Nashville, Charlotte, North Carolina, Miami Beach, and Denver, Colorado before coming to San Antonio. So having a variety of experience in markets that are sometimes competing markets for San Antonio, but different markets as well. And so I think bringing that difference of experience would help bring that voice to the commission.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Kaur?
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in our community, and how will you help the commission strengthen that role?
Well, like I said in my opening, it's the front porch of the city. You know, it's often the first and last impression of a traveler coming to our city. It's also a great gateway. A lot of people use our airport who aren't from here. They come up from the valley or other parts of Texas to depart or return here. So it's vital in serving those different communities. I think vastly important right now is the success of the expansion at the airport and how that growth is going to take place, and giving valuable feedback and input, as I know it's underway, but it will continue to evolve as decisions need to be made. And so I think it's a critical time for the airport to get as much information from a group like the commission would be to be successful going forward.
Thank you so much. I know that felt fast, but that concludes the interview. We're going to do our last couple of interviews, have a discussion, and then make a recommendation around for something.
I understand. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Mr. Lerma. Is that how you say it?
Yes, yep.
Wonderful.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. We're going to start off a 2-minute opening statement, and then we'll have 3 questions from council members, and you'll have about a minute for each of those.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Lerma. I am currently the Chief of Staff at Meals on Wheels San Antonio. I'm gladly, excited to apply for appointment on this commission for many reasons. But one of my very first jobs was working in the airport. It was at a bookstore there at the airport. It's not there anymore, but every time I go by, I try to see if it's still there. But I learned so much from that job, and a lot of it was customer service. And I use it now that experience, because it really was a game changer for me to see how you interact with people. The training there was really, when you're interacting with folks that are traveling, it's a whole different game, and I learned a lot. I also have been through 2 major capital projects in the nonprofit field. I worked at the Whitty Museum, where we were going through a $100 million campaign where we were trying to open up this new building, these new exhibits, and I helped provide strategic planning and fundraising for all that, but also just, again, customer experience and customer service. And then just recently at Meals on Wheels, we went through a similar thing, and we're right next to the airport, and it's again one of those things that I have a soft spot in my heart for the airport. I'm a frequent traveler, and like I said, it was one of my very first jobs, and I'm excited to see that, or how I could help see it grow. I know the airport's going through a huge transformation, and I want to be part of it, and I want to be a voice for the people that we serve at Meals on Wheels. But also we know that those seniors are homebound, but we work with all these other seniors, and seniors fly too, right? Nonprofit people fly, and so when I asked myself, okay, how can I be a better citizen, a better advocate of the city? What can I do? And that was the choice.
Thank you. Councilmember Spears?
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Yeah, they're all important. Great question. And yeah, all those stakeholders are important, and being able to leverage each one, and I think creating spaces where you could have open dialogue is very important. Everyone has a voice, and I think my position on the committee would allow that, would be that voice for them, and open the opportunity for all those stakeholders. Of course, you want to make the business folks happy. You want to make the travelers happy. It's one of the larger airports at this side of the state, and there's so many people coming in, and we want to make sure that everyone has a say.
Thank you. Councilmember Mugia?
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
Thank you for the question. I mentioned it earlier, strategic planning is one of my, skills that I've provided at both Meals on Wheels and at the Whitty, but also community engagement. I've been in the nonprofit field for 15 years. I've tried to really, I'm a proud Southsider, try to advocate, where I came from and how to bring more resources and knowledge and information. And then also, in my everyday job, I work with our board, and I know what's expected as a board member and as a staff member, right? And so governance is one of them, and being able to, just be a ear, for the director, CEO. Sometimes they need a vent and, need advice, or just, help in general.
Councilmember Dr. Corey?
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in our community, and how will you help strengthen the commission's ability to do so?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think the most important role it plays is it's one of the places where, and I remember this from my training, it's the first impression and the last impression of the city. When someone is flying through here, that's what they are gonna take back with them. How was their airport experience? And but it's also it's this economic engine of it's bringing in business, and it's only making our city grow. I have this story. I flew out of Austin one time, and I ran into a friend, and I was like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, she's from San Antonio, and she was like, it's cheaper to fly out of here. And I said, yeah, me too. That's why I'm over here. And it shouldn't be that way, right? I shouldn't drive up there. And so being able to see how can we, have that not happen, right? And keeping people, from leaving and flying out of here.
Thank you so much. I know that felt fast, but that concludes the interview. We have just one more interview, and then we're gonna have a discussion and make a recommendation around for something.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, we have Mr. Luong. Hello, Mr. Luong. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Good afternoon.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to start off with a quick 2-minute opening statement, and then we'll have 3 questions from council members. You'll have about a minute for each of those.
I love that. Thank you.
Of course.
So good afternoon. As you mentioned, my name is Wilson Luong, and I'm honored to be considered for a seat at the Airport Advisory Commission. My pride in San Antonio runs deep, back to 2006 when I first came to San Antonio to see the River Walk and the lights lighting the trees. This was the opportunity that I had to realize this is where home I wanted to be at. I relocated here in 2011, right after graduation from college with my hospitality degree to begin my merit career at the then brand new JW Marriott San Antonio Hill Country Resort and Spa. Since then, I spent over a decade with various operations at Marriott International, including my above property work as a business operation manager, where I had the opportunity to invite general managers from all around the country to my favorite city and show them why I fell in love with the city. I had the pleasure of welcoming, stand for meetings, trainings, and conferences, experiences that deepen my connection to the city and its hospitality community. Today, I serve as a sales executive for the Courtyard and Residence Inn Airport Hotels, where my focus is providing a home away from home for travelers coming through San Antonio. My career has been rooted in hospitality operations and stakeholder engagement, all of which have been giving me a deeper understanding of the airport ecosystem and its impact on our city's economy, tourism, and community experience. I seek an appointment to the Airport Advisory Commission because I believe the airport is more than just a transit hub. It's a gateway to our city's culture, business, and hospitality. I want to contribute my experiences in operation, community engagement, and strategic planning to help shape the future of our airport and ensure it reflects the excellence and warmth that San Antonio is known for. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Councilmember Spears.
Airports serve many stakeholders, travelers, businesses, nearby residents, and the city as a whole. How would you approach balancing these sometimes competing interests?
Yeah, stakeholders are a fun, unique family of people that we work with, and they have a variety of wants and needs. The way I do it with my stakeholders currently is I look at all the priorities that they have and see how we can come with a mutual understanding of each other's needs and wants. And I feel like I would probably do the very similar situation in these stakeholders you mentioned. By hearing them out, hearing what they have to say, and figuring out a common solution that we're all going to be happy with at the end, and help guide those conversations. At the end of the day, it's a conversation that has to happen, and having those willing to have the open conversations, that's what's going to move the business forward.
Thank you. Councilmember Munguia.
Thank you. What skills, experiences, or perspectives do you bring that would help the commission address both opportunities and challenges facing the airport?
So I think one of my favorite skills I have is relationship building. So I'm currently working sales, and so working with the local businesses in San Antonio right now to showcase why my hotels are the best place for them to stay when they come to San Antonio, or they're out-of-state people or out-of-city employees come to San Antonio, and saying, hey, this is why you want to stay at my hotel. And build those relationships to make sure that they have a home away from home while they're here in our beautiful city. That's that networking opportunities that I bring to the table also with the relationships that I've built in San Antonio and the other hotel partners and those features. I think also just being level-headed. And sometimes the challenge that we run into sometimes is a lot of strong personalities that come to the table, and being able to de-escalate is what I've learned to do in the front office with guests, is de-escalate a situation so that we can have a productive conversation and move things forward is one of my great skills that I bring to the table.
Thank you. Councilmember Dr. Gore.
What do you see as the most important role that the airport plays in the community, and how would you help strengthen that role with the commission?
Yeah, so really the fundamental of the airport is bringing our travelers here. We got to make sure that our travelers, when they come to San Antonio, they have a great experience. I remember my very first time coming to San Antonio, I flying home back to Arizona, and the whole power was out. I got to the airport, power was gone, 2006. I was like, what happened? But the way that the airport staff handled that situation and kept everybody informed was what needed to happen. And so those are the things that I would recommend, that having the open conversations with our guests and with our people that were coming through and our tourism friends is what needs to happen to make sure that those dialogues are there so they understand what's going on, and making sure that everybody is in the know.
Keep doing that. Councilmember Dr. Kaur. Oh, my bad. Okay, so ending that, I know that felt really fast. Sorry, dad brain, and this has been a long meeting.
You're a good dad, I get it. No worries.
Thank you. That concludes the meeting. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into an executive session, have a discussion, and then right after that, we're going to make a recommendation. So it'll be very fast. You'll know an answer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course, so all that being said, if you are authorized to be here for executive session, I'll ask you to stay. If you are not, I'll ask you to leave.
Or we could go across, that way they.
How would you prefer?
Well, that way they can come back in, they're standing out in the hall, I think, right? Some of them.
Oh, okay, I thought they were in that room. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So the time is now 3:49 p.m. and the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee will now meet in executive session to consult with the City Attorney's Office concerning attorney-client matters under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Thank you. The time is now 4:18 PM, and the Transportation Infrastructure Committee will reconvene in open session. No official action was taken in executive session. For all of the applicants who are here and those who had to step away, I do want to express my deepest and sincerest gratitude for your time and your willingness to contribute your expertise. It demonstrates a true commitment to public service and to the future of not only our airport, but to our city as a whole. While not all can be appointed, your interest is deeply valued, and we encourage you to remain engaged with the city of San Antonio and our community. And I'll flag that March of next year, we have another slew of appointments for the Airport Advisory Commission that will be open. So if you're not selected this round, I do promise we were very deeply impressed by everyone. So please continue to stay engaged. All that being said, I will, can I get a motion for the recommendation?
Yep, Chair. I move the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee recommend to full City Council the following individuals to serve on the Airport Advisory Commission through March 18th, 2027. Mark Provost for the Airport Business Leasee category, Doyle Turner for the Aviation Industry category, Wilson Luong for the Travel and Tourism Industry category, Marsha Hendler, Brian Morris, Christy Nueva for the Business Community category, and Ignacio Reyes, Marco Barros, and Jose Lerma for the Community category.
Thank you, and for the record, Villanueva. We have a motion, you said Nueva. It's all good? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations to those selected, and this will carry forward to the NA session in the near future. Now the time is 4:20 PM on October 7th, 2025, and we will adjourn the meeting.